It's often said that men think with their lower bodies. Many times, love at first sight is just being attracted by someone's looks, and developing feelings over time is just a matter of conquering new territory. So, when a boyfriend is really skilled in that area, just how pleasurable is it? Let's listen to a few young women share their honest experiences. Hua said, I zone out. I can't tell if it's real or not. My mind goes blank, especially when I have a bit of a forced fantasy going on. My whole body just keeps contracting, and when it's over, I'm completely limp, no dreams, no motivation, and in the end, my eyes roll back. My heart races, and then all I want is to be held and fall asleep. Mammy said, yeah, I just feel really tired afterwards. Once I finish, I just want to sleep, but I can't push him away, no matter what. Basically, every time we do it, it has to be twice. Sometimes, on the first night after he comes back from a business trip, I really can't take I've need several times to be satisfied. Every time it's only when he wants to stop that we stop. He has absolute control in this area. Sigh, it's exhausting, but I've pretty much gotten used to it. Fang said, my own sex drive isn't very strong, maybe just 2 or 3 times a month. There are times when I want it, but after meeting my husband, take just recently, for example, right after my period, it hasn't even been a week, and in less than 3 days, we've done it 8 times. Each time lasts about an hour. I'm honestly exhausted. My legs shake uncontrollably. I can barely stand, and I feel like I'm being completely drained. It's just too much. Lily mentioned her boyfriend with a big smile on her face. She said, it seems like being thicker feels better than being longer. Not exaggerating or downplaying it, my boyfriend is 15 centimeters long and about as thick as 3 of my fingers put together. As soon as the foreplay is over and he enters, I get turned on, I start trembling. He controls the rhythm perfectly. First it's slow, and only when I start to feel it, he speeds up. Once I'm really enjoying it, he'll pause. At first I don't want it, but later I'm begging him for more. Ping complained, almost as if she were venting. Yesterday, my boyfriend kept me up until 3:30 in the morning. He usually goes for at least an hour each time, and 4 or 5 times a night is just his normal performance. My body is actually pretty flexible, but my boyfriend bends me into all kinds of positions. I end up with a sore back and aching waist, and I can't even get out of bed. My lower abdomen feels completely empty. It's like my body has been totally drained. The key is, at night my boyfriend is like a little bull calf, and during the day he's like a loyal puppy for a day. He's as sweet as a college student. Thank you so much for your support. If you enjoy my videos, please like and subscribe. Many of my videos get demonetized, so I have no income, not even any profit. Please subscribe to my members only channel so I can keep making videos. Yang Z, who is in a long distance relationship, said, well, how should I put it? It's pretty good, pretty satisfying. There was a period when we were doing it like crazy, averaging 3 or 4 times a day, once in the morning, once at noon, and once at night was the bare minimum. Sometimes we couldn't even manage 3 meals a day, but we could do it more than 3 times. There was even one day when we did it 10 times. After we finished, my boyfriend would just automatically shut down and fall asleep. Normally, I don't consider myself someone with a particularly restrained desire, but even I couldn't keep up at least 3 or 4 times a day, and each time lasted 30 to 40 minutes. The pleasure is real, it really is amazing, but the exhaustion is just as real. A lot of the time, right after we finished, we just fall asleep immediately. I felt like my body was about to be worn out from all the effort. Recently, there was one time when my boyfriend was on top for a really long time and still didn't finish it, went on for over an hour, and we changed positions several times. I was about to cry, and I even started avoiding him. Later, I asked him if he was trying to make me cry, and he admitted that he kind of was. It's not like I want to cry, okay? There were several times when I was really about to cry, but at that point, I couldn't even cry anymore. My body was so drained. I didn't have any tears left, okay? Lately, he's been into doing it standing up. He's 185 centimeters, and I'm 158 centimeters. So when we do it standing up, it's awkward for me, but I can't deny how good it feels. Honestly, it just hits the spot right away. It's more intense, and it's so easy for him to finish. And after we're done, my stomach feels uncomfortable. I'm not even sure if it's because he really hit the right spot. Normally, my boyfriend is a pretty gentle and soft-spoken guy, but when it comes to sex, sometimes he'll just start things when he's half asleep. He's a lot rougher in those moments. She doesn't let me move away, just holds my waist or grabs my legs and waist, and thrusts up forcefully. Like last time when we had an argument after we fought, he went to sleep first, and I was still upset, so I stayed up a bit later. When I finished showering and got into bed, he was already asleep. I hadn't been lying there long before he started touching me, got hard, and just went for it. We had a great time. The next day I asked him about it, and he actually didn't remember anything. Wow, pure intention, pure consciousness, so proper. But I've gotten used to it, since we're in a long-distance relationship, and sometimes I leave early, and when I leave in the morning, he can do it to me once. Even when we're sleeping, if I turn over, he'll pull me back into his arms, his hand always finding the right spot, giving it a squeeze, then pressing up against me before falling asleep, totally satisfied. Honestly, being a little rough every now and then is actually pretty nicely a change of pace. Let me share my own experience too. Earlier, I wasn't feeling well and couldn't sleep, but my boyfriend finally managed to coax me to sleep in the morning before he left for work. But then, the girl next door started making all these moaning sounds, clearly having sex, and it went on for about 15 minutes. When they finished, I managed to fall back asleep, but just as I did, they started up again. It was so frustrating. Since I live in an apartment and the soundproofing isn't great, I usually cover my mouth to keep quiet. I knocked on the wall, but after a 2-second pause, they actually got even louder. Were they doing this on purpose? I immediately recorded the noise and sent it to my boyfriend, telling him that the neighbor's sex noises woke me up. I knocked on the wall, and they got even louder. My boyfriend said, "Take note and pay them back double next time." To my surprise, my boyfriend returned. Men and their sense of revenge. I asked him, "Don't you have to go to work?" He said he'd finished what he needed to do. It was a little after 10 at the time, and as soon as he walked in, he started unbuckling his belt and taking off his shirt. Haha, I really like that. Anyway, from around 11 in the morning until 3:30 in the afternoon, we went at it twice, with about a half-hour break in between. Although I tried to keep my voice down and wasn't as uninhibited as they were, there were still moments when I just couldn't hold back. After that, it was like world peace never. Again, did I hear loud noises coming from next door? Of course, the price was that I couldn't get out of bed. Had to change the sheets again, right after just changing them. And my legs were so weak they were shaking. My boyfriend has really great rhythm, and before being with him, I honestly had no idea that sex could be this addictive. Usually, if I beg for mercy, he'll let me off after about an hour. But if I act up and annoy him, it's generally at least 2 hours. Plus, I'm really sensitive, so basically I can't get out of bed every day. As for how intense the experience can be, it definitely varies from person to person. If you have good stamina, doing it every day isn't a problem. But for most people, it's more like a weekly or monthly package deal. A truly intense experience should feel like you're on the edge of life and death with desire. If you haven't felt that, then it can't really be called intense, it's just normal sex. Some girls worry about this. If their boyfriend is really strong in that area, could he actually get exhausted to death? There's a saying among the people, 1 drop of semen equals 10 drops of blood, which suggests that semen and blood are closely related. In fact, guys are constantly producing sperm every minute and every second, with a daily output of about 70 million to 150 million, always ready to answer their owner's call. The production rate is actually higher than the consumption rate, so it's impossible to completely run out of ammunition. However, there might be a temporary shortage in stock, but even if you clear it out for a while, it won't endanger your life. Just take a few days to rest and your reserves will recover. Also, the brain has a self-protection mechanism. When you have multiple releases in a short period of time, your little brother will temporarily stop responding to sexual stimulation. In other words, it just won't stand up. So guys, there's really nothing to worry about. Your little brother is naturally gifted and is actually quite impressive in that regard. For women, orgasm depends on 2 parts. The first is whether the woman is emotionally invested in the man, basically, whether there are feelings involved. Second, can the man stimulate the woman's sensitive spots with high frequency and intensity? Love is the best lubricant for sex. If a woman truly loves you, then as long as your abilities aren't too lacking, and as long as you give her your all and do your best to satisfy her, she'll have a wonderful experience. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section.